So that's the mergings of the heavens and the earth. So here we are, merging the heavens and the earth. And we are, first of all, welcome everybody out there. How is everybody doing? Good. Good, good. And we are doing really what we call podcasting at the moment, as we find this is a lot easier technically to do. And we're going to speak this morning about xylitol, because everybody asked the question, and it needs some answer. And a lot of Gabriel's work really is going to be doing more and more research on topics that come up. So what is xylitol? Xylitol is very unique. It's a 5-carbon polyol. You know what a polyol is, of course, right? No.
No.
Of course. It's a cross between a sugar and an alcohol. And it has a different effect in the body. Sorbitol, which is a 6-carbon, is a polyol also. And it's absorbed considerably slower into the body. Okay? And when we say it's absorbed slower, it makes a huge difference because its glycemic index compared to white sugar is, depending on the study, either 7 or 11. White sugar is 100. So you get the difference. So it's really on the low side. Now what makes xylitol particularly interesting is it doesn't require insulin to get into the cells. But that's extremely important because people don't quite understand, but insulin resistance, which is where the body's work with insulin isn't kind of going right, and there's a breakdown in insulin getting in the cells because there aren't enough receptors in the cells. There isn't enough carrier, like the insulin isn't working right. There's too much fat in the cells. There's lots of different reasons, but the bottom line is you get a higher insulin to try to overcome it, and then eventually the pancreas burns out. But along the way, insulin is a hormone. Okay? It's a hormone that actually stimulates estrogen production indirectly because it builds up a little bit of fatty tissue. And that estrogen production is actually connected with polycystic ovary. Does anybody know what that is?
No.
Okay. It's actually the first operation I saw in my life when I was 16. A friend of our family, who's the person who delivered me, it's called the Stein-Leventhal syndrome. Basically, you cut out a third of the ovary because it has cysts, because there's too much estrogen stimulating. Women stop having their periods, have irregular periods, and have a great deal of difficulty and start to develop hair and all kinds of, testosterone-like things, even though there's a higher estrogen. Main point is, that's one of the symptoms of actually of insulin resistance, believe it or not, is polycystic ovary. So, what does it have to, with xylitol? What it has to do with xylitol is, if you're going a little bit more on the xylitol, you decrease your insulin resistance because you're not putting out such a need for sugar. Suddenly it takes the pressure off the system. So, they have done a variety of studies with xylitol in diabetics. And, of course, we'll see, because, there are probably their own studies, if you follow what I'm saying, is that it doesn't seem to raise the blood sugar significantly. Kind of like, so, in diabetics. Now, in other people, regular people, I'm sure, non-diabetics, I don't think it raises it at all. So that's really quite exciting, because xylitol just goes right into the system, and it goes very, very slowly into the system. So why is that significant? Because now we can put xylitol in phase 1 cacao. Right? This is what Now, it still is, as they say, it's a polyol. Now, it has some very powerful and exciting effects. First of all, in the research, particularly in kids, somewhere, again, research varies, but somewhere between 40 and 70% less dental caries as a result of taking xylitol, because xylitol kills some of the bacteria like that cause the plaque, that causes the inflammation, then that inflames the gums.
Would you please take your no cough notes?
Yeah, I think you can push *6 on that one. I think you can push *6. Okay, can you close the door, please?
Gabriel, can you repeat what you just said? I couldn't hear over the coughing.
Sure.
Thanks.
The key here is xylitol is that it actually kills the bacteria that cause plaque and that cause inflammation of the gums and causes periodontal disease. And in children, we have 40 to 70% less cavities. That's very significant. And if the mothers take the xylitol, I choose a xylitol gum, and we will be carrying this at the tree. We're researching it with different products now, what is the best. Somehow the kids have less dental disease because it is kissing, oral, whatever, the bacteria are transmitted. Okay, so that's really important. It also, so with xylitol you get less cavities, less periodontal disease. Now that's really, really important. Now there's more good news. It appears that up to about 70%, again, varies, 50%, 70%. Kids, as we know, we get sinus problems, they get earaches, and there's a particular bacteria that's connected with that, alpha strep, and it seems to kill the alpha strep. It also seems to kill strep pneumococci, which is connected with these. When your gums are infected, you have about 3 times more heart disease and about twice the rate of atherosclerosis. So there is a connection between the gums, gum infections, which then seed the blood, which then go to the heart. This is why the doctors, the dentists are going to give you antibiotics, which we don't use. We use the Pleonode, but antibiotics. And Pleonode is actually much, much better for strep. It's the best. There's nothing better. And it's a non-antibiotic. So what we're kind of saying here is that, so when you do dental work, it kind of seeds the blood because the dentist is playing with your gums. And so that's what we use to protect you.
The Pleonode?
N-O-T.
Note?
N-O-T. Yeah. Pleonotokill. P-L-E-O-N-O-T is how it's called, but it's Notokill. We carry it here, and we carry it in a variety of ways. We have a liquid where you can just put it on gauze pad if you've got an infection right over your gums, or you can just take it orally if you have an infection and so forth. You can also take it rectally, which is almost like IV. It's very powerful. It's it's the most powerful treatment for strep infection there is. And you don't get resistance to it. So all that's kind of cool. So I want to go back to say sinus problems. It looks like the xylitol blocks bacteria's ability to hang on to your sinus membranes and to your ear membranes. So it helps with sinusitis, and it really helps with the earaches. Now it also seems to be helping with bone loss. There's something connected with xylitol in the gut, that some of the breakdown products actually help you absorb calcium, and they've got some results treating osteoporosis, which is quite interesting. It also seems to help with skin. It thickens the collagen in the skin. So there are many good things that we're seeing with xylitol, and it is totally natural. You can get it in plums, cabbage, raspberries, but we get it mostly, it's produced commercially from